Welcome to the 13th Peep Show episode. It's a mini episode where I, Emily Ann Peterson, host of Bare Naked Bravery, give you a little peek into some of the real bravery that I'm experiencing on a day-to-day basis. Now, as always, every Tuesday, I feature a conversation that I've had with some other brave, wonderful soul. But today, with Peep Shows, I give you just a little real IRL peek into what's actually happening with me and some of my wonderful bravery students as well. So before we get into all of the things that I want to talk about today, which is basically just the concept that rest is not avoidance, and we'll get into that later. But I have a couple announcements. The first is very exciting. I will be in Seattle and Tacoma at the end of this month and the beginning of May. So there are very exciting talks of a last-minute house show. So if you are interested in attending those and you're in the Seattle area, be sure that you're on my email list because those announcements will go out at that time or via email. The other reason why you should sign up for my email list is because I'm gathering together the exciting, I'm doing, with my hands, I'm doing like an evil Knievel hand gesture. I'm gathering together the first 5-day bravery challenge for everyone on my list. Not everyone has to receive it. You have to opt in to get it. So if you are interested and curious in participating in a 5-day bravery challenge, be sure that you're on my email list again, because that's very important. And there will be more details on that coming up in the very near future. The third reason why it's important that you're on the email list is because right away, you get a bravery bundle email. You get an email with a whole bunch of wonderful things in it, including a worksheet on how you can be brave right now. And you can reuse that worksheet whenever you need it. But there's also music and coloring book in the bravery bundle as well. So that is for you guys. Okay, let's get into today's topic, which is rest is not avoidance. It's not. And I think a lot of people, when they decide to take rest, or they're in the middle of a project and they are basically staving off or keeping rest at an arm's length away, thinking like they always feel guilty when they relax. That's definitely one of the things that I struggle with. It's hard for me to sit down and relax sometimes, especially when I'm in the mode of go, get it done. At some point, there is the reality that I face personally, that when I'm in the flow, that I gotta use it and take advantage of it while I can. But what I've noticed is that the more that I use the flow and try to keep it going or take advantage of it in a way that it might leave in the future, like it's going to go away, like the flow is going to go away, that actually wears me out. And it's really, really important for me to rest in not only after a big, heavy moment of get it done. But it's also really important for me to have moments of silence and inactivity so that I can rest and rejuvenate and make myself have some downtime. What I've noticed is that after I carve, like sometimes you have to really carve, like chisel out time in your day to make this rest and rejuvenation happen. But what I notice is that after that rest happens, usually what my next step is going to be is so much clearer. Even if I'm in the flow, like you're in the flow, you've got stuff going, you're doing. But what I notice is that what I think is the flow is actually just busy work. And that when I rest and take a moment to breathe and have silence, after that rest, like when I wake up from a power nap, I recognize that, the project I was working on before is actually not important right this second. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but the path forward, the next step that I take is really, really clear after that resting time. So I want to be careful though, because I know that sometimes people do actually use rest as an avoidance tool or as a procrastination tool. So I want to remind you guys, and I'm like classic example of this, especially with, for instance, finances are my like top procrastinating project that I love procrastinating on, and I'm not proud of it. But sometimes this procrastination indicates that you have a difficult circumstance in front of you, and you may not be fully equipped to handle it all at once. You might not be fully equipped to handle it at all, and that's okay. So I think it's really important to acknowledge or try to get to the bottom of where this indecision or where this procrastination and avoidance, where does it come from? What are you actually avoiding? Are you avoiding the project, or are you avoiding the way that one aspect of the project is going to make you feel? What I've noticed in working with all of my bravery students and my marketing clients and my cello students even too, is that when we can get to the bottom of the why they're avoiding, usually the avoidance disappears, or usually the procrastination disappears, because it's very similar to, we talked with Nomi Corelli last week, and she was saying, we were talking a little bit about like facing that monster, turning around and facing the monster. And what we realize is that when we turn around and face the monster and actually like get to know what's actually happening, we recognize that, oh, actually this is not as scary as I thought it was. Or, oh, wow, that was the only reason why I was avoiding this. That wasn't that bad. That wasn't that scary. Or it was scary, but it didn't last as long as I thought it was going to be. So yeah, that's the bravery encouragement that I've got for you guys today. I've had a couple of clients going through a very similar situation in their own life, and then I also have same situations happening in mine as well. And I think there are important things to be gleaned by just getting curious about your fears, but also curious about your procrastination. Your procrastination usually will teach you a lot about how the project could be completed in a much, much better way. But not only that, I think to circle back around to rest, it's not avoidance, especially if you're doing it on purpose, and especially if you're doing it in a way that is rejuvenating to you. So some of my favorite ways to rest are to leave my phone at home and go on a walk. I also really love, I'm a sucker for a good pedicure. So I will just grab a magazine, get a pedicure, have somebody rub my feet. That feels really good. It just feels really stinking good. Other forms of rest that I enjoy, actually, in the last season, have really enjoyed going to the movie theater by myself. There's something really, I feel like I'm playing hooky on life by going to the movie theater by myself. And that feels really, really, it feels exciting, but also restful as well. Like I get to take a break from the demands of the rest of the world. I also know that a couple people I know for Lent season, for before Easter, they gave up social media or one form of social media like Facebook. And having personally done that myself, that is also a really great way to rest. You could even if you're like me, you can't take a total break from social media because you're business and your livelihood kind of depends on the consistency of that. What you can do is you can set windows of time for it. And I even know, like, one of my good girlfriends, Alexandra Harbushka, hi. She told me that she actually uses, when she's doing social media for her work, and for herself and for her own podcasts, she gets up and walks around the room and does social media on her phone. And yeah, she's still able to work, but her body's getting the rejuvenation of standing up and moving around. But it also keeps her from being on social media for days with 3 Z's. She is, pacing around, and that pacing around, that movement allows her to just get things done and then close the apps and move on. So there's some tricks about how to rest with a really productive mentality. I also have a really good girlfriend who is an power napper. Oh my gosh, she loves power naps. And I love power naps too. It's really nice to just shut the door, crawl under the desk, crawl on top of the covers, set the phone alarm for 20 minutes, and just go out for even 5 minutes. It's really, really, really helpful. Very, very rejuvenating to come out of a power nap. I even have a couple friends. I knew a guitarist that I toured with. He took power naps by taking a shot of espresso right before he went down for a nap. So that way he woke up and he was like really on it and really with it. So there are ways to get rejuvenation in the ways that you need without feeling like you're going to lose the flow. Beyond that, I also think it's really important to note that the flow is never lost, especially if you can nurture the methods to access it in a really diligent and disciplined kind of way. It can be accessed at all times. You just have to teach yourself how to access it. So that is it. That is what I have for you today. Rest is not avoidance. Rest is not avoidance. Put it on a Post-it note. Schedule in the rest. Take some time for yourself this week and this weekend to make sure that you are getting real rest. Not just like being with the family rest, because that's not the same kind of rest and rejuvenation that I'm talking about. This is the actual hard-nosed, cut yourself off from the world for a temporary amount of time and let yourself just be and get some good alone time happening. So rest is not avoidance. Just a reminder, if you're interested in any of the house shows that I've got going on, both now in Seattle in the next coming weeks, or even way out in the distant future, please get on my email list on my website. Also, if you're interested in the 5-day bravery challenge, same thing. Get on the mailing list, and then everybody who does that gets a wonderful bravery bundle of goodies that I've prepared for you. All of that is available in the show notes, and also just at EmilyAnnPeterson.com and BareNakedBravery.com. I will see you guys next Tuesday with Michelle Madrid Branch and her episode. Oh my gosh, you're going to love her. She's so fantastic. We talk about adoption and international borders and what it's like to be a newscaster and a mom of 3 kids, and what it's like, more importantly, to be adopted and then to turn around and adopt others. It's a really beautiful episode, beautiful conversation. You're going to enjoy it wholeheartedly. I just know it. So I'll see you then. Have a great weekend, and remember that we need your bravery. We really do.